Good morning, everyone. Today we're going to learn how to write a response synthesis, and this is in preparation for your exam on the novel That Was Then, This Is Now. What I'm going to do is go over the format, or exactly what is a response synthesis, and then I'm going to go over the 6 steps that you need to write one. So let's begin by learning exactly what a response synthesis is. It's a written production where the reader shows their understanding of two texts by exploring and making connections to these texts. Now, the number 2 here will have given you a hint to the fact that you're going to have to read another text related to the novel That Was Then, This Is Now. The other text you're going to read is a short story. It's only 4 pages, it's not that long, and you're going to explore and make connections to these two texts. In terms of how long it is, a response synthesis is actually not that long. It consists of 3 paragraphs. Paragraph 1 is when you explore the meaning and message of text A. So text A could be, in our case, the novel. Then paragraph 2 explores the meaning and message of text B, and that will be your short story. And then paragraph 3 is when you make a connection. So you choose one text, A or B, the novel or the short story, and you make a connection to that. Now let's go through the steps. Step number 1 is to read and make sure you understand the message to explore. What that is you will be given a sentence that will focus on a common theme or topic featured in both text A and B, and you want to make sure that you understand what that is. Let's look at an example of such a sentence. So here's a message to explore. It says, respect is the responsibility of every individual in society and is a parent's responsibility towards their child. So this looks a lot like a theme from a novel or a short story, and that's what the message will look like in relation to That Was Then, This Is Now, and the other short story that you have to read. Once you understand the message to explore, you want to carefully read text A and B. Now you've already read the novel, so you're going to read the short story. And what you want to do is look up any difficult words in the dictionary and make sure you highlight or make a note of anything that relates to the message to explore. So in terms of the novel, you just want to flip through the novel, look at the notes you took for the discussion questions, and see if you can explore a particular message, or the particular message. Number 3 is to read text A and B a second time, making note of the codes and conventions of the text. Now, don't worry, or don't let this stress you out, these words, codes and conventions, because they're actually quite simple. They're essentially literary elements, so important elements from a text. And you guys are lucky enough to have a separate PowerPoint and separate lovely video with my voice to explain exactly what those are. So for now, don't worry about it, and you'll watch another video that explains those. So now let's start to write. Step 4 is to write your first paragraph, and that will explore the meaning of the message, the meaning and the message of text A, and it will feature 2 codes and conventions of that text with examples. Your paragraph should be 100 to 150 words. By the way, codes and conventions, just to give you an example that we can work with, that would be like the narrator or the setting or the protagonist. So it's really elements of a story that you've gone through in French class and English class. So nothing new here. Step number 5 is to write your second paragraph. So this time you explore the meaning and message of text B, and you look at least 2 codes and conventions of text B. Same thing as paragraph 1, you just look at a different text. Step number 6, the last paragraph. So you need to pick one text, and you need to make a connection to that text. And the types of connections you can make are either text to self, or text to text, text to self, text to world. Let's go through those quickly. Text to text connection, as it says in the title, is when you link text A or B to another text. So this could be a novel, a short story, an article, a movie, television show, so on and so forth. Anything that you're familiar with. So you connect it to another text, and then you need to explain what exactly connects them. Is it the protagonist? Is it the themes? Is it the setting? Etc. A text to self connection is, again, as it says in the title, you link the text A or B to something that relates to you. It doesn't necessarily have to be something that relates to you. It could also be something that has happened to your friends or family. Now, an important note about text to self connections, often students shy away from these because they don't want to get too personal. You don't have to tell me your life story. You don't have to bare your soul. You can be as personal as you want. And often, these are the best types of connections you can make because they're the easiest to write about. You know who you are and what you've experienced, so it's easy to write about those things. Likewise, some students like to invent text to self connections. Just make sure if you invent, which you are totally allowed to do, just make sure you're realistic and that you don't have aliens falling from the sky. That's my little alien. So make sure you don't have any aliens in your story. Okay, last connection is a text to world connection. And what you want to do is link text A or B to current events. So things happening in the world, on the news. When you do this, focus on the themes and the conflicts of the text, of the chosen text, because those are the easiest to link to current events. So that concludes my explanation on what a response synthesis is. Please consult the next video to learn about codes and conventions.